I first thought of this topic in October of 2019. Back then, no one had heard of COVID. If you were to mention it, you would have thought it was some bad rock band or maybe a slang term. No one would have ever imagined it would turn into what it is now. Here we are, standing in October 2020. It is affecting billions worldwide and has changed our society forever. I think to myself now, what is one attribute that's extremely important to help through uncertain times? Resilience. I find it's often overused and misinterpreted today through the media. Personally, I find many articles that mention, oh, resilience is so important, and make sure your team at work has resilience. But none of such articles really describe the true meaning of the word resilience. So just get it squared off straight away, I'm offering to you the Oxford Languages definition of the word resilience. Number 1, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. Number 2, the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape, elasticity. Those are the definitions to which I base off my use of the word resilience. Why is this word important? It's because it's an attribute that's crucial in success. I'm only a kid, but from what I've heard is that in life you are met with challenges that are not so simple to overcome. When faced with adversity, it's critical to recover through those challenges and come out the other end, otherwise there'd be no successful outcomes that follow. For example, you're at work and something comes in and needs to be done by tonight, and you know it's nearly impossible to do in one night. But rather than sit there and dwell on it or go complain to your boss that it's unfair, you set your mind to it and get it done. Another example, you're at university and one of your assignments doesn't come back as well as expected. The easiest way out would be to feel sorry for yourself, go out and try to distract yourself. But that's not really going to get you where you want to be. Trust me, I've tried both ways and I can tell you that turning away from the issue does not fare too well in the final exam. Rather face the issue head on and think to yourself, okay, where was it that I struggled so you can work on it for next time, continue on. By being resilient and overcoming difficulties, you will find the key to your success. Now we can understand why resilience is important. If it weren't for resilience, we, ourselves and society, would never go anywhere. Nothing good would ever follow, and nothing creative would ever be made. We can't live in a society where people are afraid to take risks. We'd never get anywhere in life. That's simply why resilience is important on a day-to-day level. But it also becomes important during events. And yes, events include a global pandemic. Following the pandemic, resilience will be insanely crucial. Anywhere from young children seeking interaction from inside their houses, to adults figuring out how to and maintaining a steady work pace remotely, to the elderly being required to do online banking. These are the sorts of things people will have learned to adapt to. Adaptations will be made individually and as a society during, after, and the years and years following the pandemic. Life will be different no matter how much or how little you want it to change. During the pandemic, this is where resilience will show. It'll be obvious those of who have resilience, they'll be able to overcome unplanned events, and those who are not resilient, they will get lost somewhere in between. It's the survival of the fittest. But where does resilience come from? Well, people build up resilience in many different ways. I know for myself, and for some other kids my age, I built up resilience through sport. I've been in games, provincial finals, where I had one chance at the game. One shot to finish it off, and there was no way of pausing and coming back. This was my grade 9 provincial final basketball game. We ended up losing by 5. I knew that had I made another 2 threes, or maybe made that extra jumper, that the game would have turned around. But I didn't. We ended up losing that game, and I've carried that with me since. However, I didn't just end my basketball career there through losing that game and knowing that I maybe could have done something about it. It only made me stronger, more anxious for the next year to perform better than I had. Even though we lost that game, in the long run, I came out of it stronger than I was and stronger than I would have been had we won. I now understood the significance of game time decisions and the reality of there being no do-overs. Coming off our grade 9 season, we were ready, had worked incredibly hard the entire season, never losing a game until those finals. Continuing on to grade 10, the only game my team had lost up until provincials was one single exhibition game. 7 of the 11 girls from that junior team were also on the same grade 9 team that had lost in the finals the previous year. Evidently, we went into the junior provincial basketball championships ready to take home gold. In the first games of the tournament, we had a certain mindset, and we went through every game with incredible execution. We were focused, we were out to do a job and out to reach a goal. We got to the semifinal game. As soon as tip-off happened, we were on fire. First shot, first make of the game was my three-pointer, and we were up 12-3 when I reached for the ball and something went wrong with my hand. And I got the foul. Okay, well maybe I deserved the foul, and then my hand started to really hurt. I called for a sub, high-fived my teammate that was taking me out of the game, and I sat down on the bench. And that's when the pain really hit. Turns out, after all that hard work, all the steady marching, and all the pushing, I had broken my left hand, and I was out for the game. The girls played incredibly well in that semifinal game. We were off to the final the next day. Before the game, I tried doing my dribbling warm-up in the locker room, and this is when I knew there was something really wrong with my hand. Despite being told by doctors present at the semifinal game that it was probably nothing more than a minor dislocation or maybe a little sprain, I knew myself and I knew that I was the best judge of the pain. At this point in the locker room, I knew in the back of my mind that I would not be able to play that final game. This devastated me. But I didn't want to let the pain stop me. So during the final, I tried for a shift on the court. I wanted to play so badly, but I just could not use my left hand, which suddenly made the game of basketball quite a challenge. The girls fought hard in that final game, and I cheered from the sidelines. We ended up taking home the silver medal for the second year in a row. A lot of the girls from that team are still playing a high-level basketball, myself included, and although we never did bring home a provincial gold medal, we cherish every moment we shared together throughout those seasons. And for me, I consider those seasons a success. I know for myself, my hand injury has made me mentally stronger, and I've worked hard recovering from that injury. I had surgery, a cast for 7 weeks, and it took months for rehabilitation. Our school team continued on and played the club season together, and although I didn't get to play much during that club season, I came up to every practice and every game to cheer on my teammates. We all kept an amazing bond throughout our seasons together. It was evident to myself as well as to my teammates that it wasn't what happened to us, but it's what we did with it that made us stronger as a team and as individuals. And adjusting a team after an injury is an excellent demonstration of how resilience gets developed. Resilience is built like you build muscle. You work out, your muscles get tired and sore, beat down a little bit, but then you actually build off that and they come out stronger than they were. It's no pain, no gain in a sense. In order to build resilience, there's always something that hurts you a little bit, but you build off that and come out stronger than you were. There are a dozen other instances during which I had experienced or witnessed the resilience of my teammates and my fellow athletes, but you can get the sense of how it develops. Sport is only one example of a way to gain resilience, but there are so many other methods. Resilience isn't all about toughing it out, though. It shows different on everyone. Being aware of the situation and learning to acknowledge it is a way you can develop resilience. Embracing challenges throughout life and recognizing that these are opportunities to build our own resilience will help make us stronger, more optimistic, and positive for the future, especially in times of uncertainty. It's important to remember that through every difficulty, you've made it out the other end, and likely even stronger than you were. Having resilience and the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties is what helps you to be successful in the future. So I challenge you to go out there and try something new. Try that sport, go to that book club, talk to the person in the office next to you. And it's okay if it doesn't go exactly to plan, because in order to discover success in the future, you need to have experienced things. And by experiencing things, sometimes greatness and sometimes failure, you will develop resilience.